Okay, let's bring the meeting to order, please. Bring the meeting to order. We'll ask Linda Southern to do our invocation.
Let's bow and pray. Our Father, how we just thank you tonight that we can come together as a town. We love our town and we just are so proud of it, and we just all work together hard to make it the wonderful place that it is. Pray that you will be with our mayor tonight and with all the council members and guide them as we go through our meeting tonight. Be with everyone here. Bless us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's do our introductions. We will need to vote to excuse Mike Evans, who is not with us tonight. Okay, go ahead.
Mary Gatt, Deputy Clerks.
Diane Laughlin.
Dina Barnes.
Mark Brown.
John Day.
Reese Walker. Scott Whitaker, Town Manager.
Dee Hall, Finance Officer.
William Hill, Town Attorney.
Purity Spencer, Planning Director.
Okay, we're going to need a motion to excuse Mike. We have such a motion.
I'll make a motion to excuse Mike.
No second. You get your mic in order.
Yep, we'll get it. Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hands. Okay. Now, the consent agenda, tonight's consent agenda includes the meeting agenda, the adoption of open and closed session minutes for October 10th, the financial report, and finance officer budget amendment, number 1, fiscal year 2017-2018. Do you have any additions or subtractions from that? And if not, do you have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Could we approve that with moving number 8 to after number 5, after announcements for public comment?
I don't see why not.
Each number 5.
Please.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hands. Okay. Any announcements?
I have one. It is time for our annual Christmas tree lighting this Saturday, which is the 18th. It's at 5:30 at our athletic park on US 220. We'll have the Northwest High School Honors Vocal Ensemble performing. The town and the Summerfield Merchants Association is partnering for really to collect food for 2 different programs, the Backpack Buddies and the Northwest Guilford Area Backpack Ministries. And the details of the drop-off locations and the food items that are needed are on our website, and they're also in the ad that was in last week's and will be in this week's Northwest Observer. And I will say one other thing about that. Our weather is not looking the best. We advertised this event Saturday. We set this date months ago, and we advertise it as rain or shine. And we are watching the weather closely, but let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, and before I go into the emergency services report, I do want to congratulate our 3 winning candidates in the election last week or the week before. And it's my understanding that the candidate should be certified by the Elections Board. later this week, and that they'll be installed on the council at our December meeting. Also wanted to point out that tonight we have two public hearings. One is for the renaming of 14th of Old Brookbank Road, and the sign-up sheets are here if anyone needs to sign up, just let me know. The second one is our reworking of our weapons policy on town property, buildings and the parks. We'll have that public hearing also. Okay, let's go with the emergency services report. Summerfield Fire District.
Good evening. In the month of October, the Summerfield Fire District ran 26 related fire calls, 65 EMS related calls, and 24 other calls. Our call total for the month of October was 115. We installed 21 car seats, 3 smoke detectors. We reached over 1,400 children and 650 adults through our public education program. As we all know, October is our fire prevention month. So we had a great month of doing that. We want to thank all the local schools, daycares who either visit the station or let us come out to their facilities and teach the kids about fire safety. A big priority of ours is to teach fire prevention to the kids in our community, and we want them to know that the fire department is always there to help. You can check out some of the photos from our Fire Prevention Month on our Facebook page, so please go there and check that out. On a safety tip, just as cold weather creeps up on us, the risk of house fires increase. So make sure that the chimneys are cleaned by a professional, and also you keep like a 3-foot area around any of your heating sources. So thank y'all.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Do we have a rep from the Sheriff's Office, District 1? Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you guys?
Good.
Unfortunately, I don't have numbers for you guys today. Captain Elliott is not able to be here today. But I know he said that you guys had a concern about the Pleasant Ridge Road speeding. They issued a couple, I think they put they put that up. They issued a couple of warning tickets. It's gotten better. I don't know if you guys have noticed an improvement, but they did work that area for a little while. The crime, Lieutenant told me there was nothing, it wasn't up or down, that everything has kind of been the same so far. What he did want me to let you guys know about is actually in Oak Ridge, is that in the parks, they've been having smash and grabs where people are breaking in the windows while you're at the park. So if you go to a park or if you're, just wherever, just make sure you lock your stuff up. Don't leave anything visible in your seats. But we've had quite a few of those in Oak Ridge, but nothing in Summerfield yet, but, that's all we have tonight.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Do we have emergency services report?
I do have that.
We do have that.
I do, okay. So for the month of October, EMS had a total of 69 calls within the Summerfield area. Emergency management held an emergency management training for all program stakeholders at the Burr Mill Park. And that's it.
Okay, thank you much. Okay, we'll go to public comment, limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Kelly O'Day.
Good evening. Kelly O'Day, 7013 Mustang Court, Summerfield, wife to Councilman John O'Day. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the town council and the staff for your efforts and work. Your efforts are really appreciated. A lot of times we hear a lot of negativity, and I just want to keep moving forward on your efforts and what you do for the town. It's really appreciated. I just want to thank you for that, because our town is statewide recognized 8th in the area for a nice place to live and raise a family. We're post-election. Congratulations to the candidates that won. But I also wanted to say it's a time for us to do better as a town. We have an election that was decided by within 20 votes, and I think that it's time that we recognize we can do better. Everyone, including myself, reach out when you have something to communicate, and let's not do, social media blaming and public shaming, because it's not really appropriate, and it's not nice. And, I've had differences, and I've been able to reach out to Don, who we all know, and I had something come up, and he was able to address it. I didn't have to go make an issue of it. So I also would like to say that, we do love Summerfield, and we choose Summerfield to raise our family because of the character. Our schools have a no bully policy, and we also, when we have our children go to schools, there's moral characters and virtues that we have each month. So I think we need to, as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, be a witness to that, and really mean, respect, courage, compassion, and honesty. Also too, when we have sports, we have a code of conduct on how to conduct ourselves. So, everyone has emotions about what their issues are, and I think, again, if you have, just take a minute, take a pause, and reach out to your neighbor, because we're all trying to get by. And oftentimes people do not mean harm, it is just a misunderstanding. So I ask that you reach out to your neighbor so that we can bring our community and character that we enjoy and that we live here for, to be here and get along. So I just ask that going forward, we, two-way street, we have transparency and integrity for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Danny Nelson.
My name is Danny Nelson, 2500 Pleasant Ridge Road. I agree with what Mr. Day said. It's been a lot. My heart's in Summerfield. It has been. I think my track record will prove that. Most of all, I'm a Christian. I'm an honest person. I think you can ask anybody. So I'm gonna have to throw a little blame here. I think both sides, yes, we need to work together. That's what absolutely has not happened. But I've been down this trail before, the Veterans Memorial out here, co-chaired. I had obstacle after obstacle after obstacle thrown at us. 5 years it took to accomplish getting a memorial out here. And I personally experienced all these things that happened. So what happened this time with this election was pretty much exactly the same thing. There was hurl after hurl through against each side. I had to pick sides. I talked to Mr. Sessoms a couple of days ago. And what really confuses me is he said, well, first of all, you got me. But anyway, I wasn't out to get nobody. I wanted the town. That's the first thing that should be first to know it. There's so many different things that I would personally do differently. I do not understand. I'm going to have to talk about our Guilford County Sheriff's Department right here. Our Summerfield Fire Department. Did I in 30 years Greensboro Fire. Chris Johnson, he came to my house the other day. My wife broke her hip. He's very professional about it. And at the same time, some of the things that just took place, it hurt me. I'm really offended. Being a Christian, Sheriff B.J. Barnes put an article in there that he took out of the Bible, a biblical thing, calling me a false prophet. He called me a wolf in sheep's clothing because I had a PD sign in my front yard. I had to pick sides. I don't like to pick sides, but I seen the direction. When I said something about the direction, Mr. Sessom said, don't be a victim here. Well, I'm still confused at that. I don't know what a victim is. I pretty much go through everything I've done in Summerfield, my neighbor. I'm kind of sad and hurt here is what it amounts to. Greensboro was going to take us. We saved Summerfield because of efforts. Mayor Brown, who worked the other side of 220. Tony Burris and myself worked this side, over 900 properties. Sheriff B.J. Barnes and Dina Barnes, Mayor Pro Tem, was taken into Summerfield because of our efforts. I want everybody to understand that. And now the way this thing has gone, call me a wolf, I'm not a wolf. And I don't like biblical statements being used to call me that. So somebody needs to look in the mirror. Miss Patty Stokes, from Northwest Observer, has been very supportive of our memorial. I was hurt the other day, I come to Veterans Day, and she talked to me and everything. I was a little bit distant from her, I don't mind telling you that. She captured, because of the newspaper, the press, she captured an area that she could speak as an editor and owner of the Northwest Observer. She's been called many times, I say unbiased, but I couldn't see the unbiased in that. It was a very ugly article, I think, calling us hypocrites, liars, being misinformed. I think, personally, I'm very informed of Summerfield, and I stand behind it. And I'd like to see everybody work together here. But unfortunately, there's no congratulations on some of our, the other side, the side that I had to pick. It hadn't happened. I remind you that Hillary Clinton called Donald Trump. As much as that was, she called and congratulated Mr. Trump. I think that should have happened here. It didn't. So I base myself on facts and truthful and honesty. And so many times with Summerfield, I found that to be so untrue. And then when I'm called a hypocrite or a liar or whatever, when I know facts, I know how to read a ruler. I know what 12 inches is. And when you measure something and measure 12 inches, that's a fact. I don't go on falsehood and say, really, that was only 10 inches. Guilford County stood beside the certain candidates that's up for re-election, and actually he was Guilford County Sheriff. He should be representing Guilford County, and me and everybody in Summerfield is a Guilford County resident, not specifically jumping up on Summerfield and protecting it for whatever it is. Summerfield Fire Department, Chief Johnson, I want to thank you for what he did. Very professional, respected. Okay, thank you.
Beth Kaplan.
Beth Kaplan, 7979. So the election is over, and now the real job starts of bringing Summerfield back together. If anything was learned from this election, it was the fact that Summerfield is a very divided community. Our trust has definitely wavered, and people need to be reassured that their voices can be heard. I hope that Gail wasn't serious when she posted, "If you don't vote, you can't complain." I hope that the new mayor and the council remember that elected officials are representatives of the people, and that the citizens can be reassured that all their voices will be heard. I look forward to the coming year of us building bridges and of us working together to bring the best Summerfield into the future. And I'll be watching to make sure that we all have a voice. Thank you.
Teresa Pegram.
Teresa Pegram, 7401 Greenlawn Drive. Good evening, Mayor and Town Council and staff. I would like to say thanks to all who had faith in me to elect me to represent the people of Summerfield and work for them to be their voice on what they want for our town. I'm excited to help move our town forward in a positive direction of increased transparency, protection of natural resources through low housing density, and maintaining our wonderful and unique rural character and charm. I will stand by my slogan, "People for the People." I would like to thank those who supported me through the election process, who went door to door, made phone calls, gave me pep talks, sent encouraging emails, and helped with the process of campaigning. And save our Summerfield and keep Summerfield rural for standing behind me 100%. We actually had close to 33% of Summerfieldians voting this election. What a great turnout for me to hear these numbers. This shows that citizens really engaged and invested in our town and how it is run. I'm looking forward to serving you, the citizens of our town, and being the voice for our future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Gail Dunham.
Oh, I was going to be last. Can I be last?
Patty Stokes.
Good evening, council and staff, and those present. I'm Patty Stokes.
I live at 6911 Maynard Road here in Summerfield. I've been a Summerfield resident for 17 years. As owner of PS Communications, publisher of the Northwest Observer, I have covered, I don't know how many town council meetings in 3 different towns. It is impossible to not be personally invested in this town. I apologize to those of you who are troubled when I write an editorial, Danny. I have supported you many times, and I personally think a lot of you, but sometimes I just have to express my opinion, and I wish I could separate myself as an individual and as a resident. I know that that is just too intertwined, just like all of you, just like the sheriff, the town council members, the staff. It is just impossible. Those organizers of Keep Summerfield Rural, when they pass out flyers to little kids and then they say, that's not as a representative of the group. I'm sorry, you just cannot unentwine yourself of those. We are intertwined with the things that we are known for. A couple weeks ago, I did write an editorial, and I just wanted to share with you that in my 21 years of publishing the community newspaper, I have never received so much feedback from readers of our newspaper. Texts, phone calls, emails, calls left at, messages left at my office when I went into church, to the gym, to the grocery store. And I was really taken aback from it. I didn't do it to expect any accolades, or really, I didn't know how many people I was speaking for. I just knew how I felt in my heart. I knew that people say, hey, this must be great, all this tension in the town, that's great for newspaper. Well, you know what? I don't really give a damn about that. What I'd really like is for this town to be a shining example of how we resolve differences. People that came to me, it was just, it was incredible. I realized that they were actually scared. They were thanking me for being a voice for them. They've been intimidated. They felt like if they weren't part of a no PD group, that they were just for high-rise buildings and raping and pillaging our community, and they don't care about our schools and our traffic. And they wanted me to tell you that that is not at all how they feel. That they love this community, and that they hope that that is something that we can all agree on, and that the newly elected officials will join those of you who are remaining on the council, and you will not only take a leadership role that you're elected to, but that you will be leaders. Yes, we are a very divided community. To the person who asked me on Facebook if I felt better after I wrote my editorial, no more so than I did when I put my kids in timeout when they were little. It gave me no personal satisfaction. I would love nothing more than to write about how we work out our differences in this town. I think a lot of people feel that way. It's going to take a lot of yielding. Those of you on the council, those of you coming on, you have a tremendous job to do. I look forward to covering you in the most fair and objective way that I can, and I look forward to seeing you rise to the role of being leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. Todd Rutherford.
Todd Richard, 7437 Strawberry Road. Good evening, Mayor Brown and council members. I'd like to make 2 brief comments. First one being, I'd like to thank the people of Summerfield. They came out in record numbers. Nobody has ever had such a good turnout as what we saw in Summerfield this year. And that's a wonderful thing. In that process, I got voted in as one of the new next town members. And that is something I'm looking very forward to. It's something I do not take lightly. And it's also something I'm hoping to be able to balance the issues out with everybody involved, and hopefully we can mend some bridges over the next 4 years. Second thing I'd like to address, and it's one of the reasons why I ran, because of my expertise in how it can help Summerfield out, and it has to do with the Martin House window restoration. I think this is something we need to sit back and get some more bids on. We have 1 bid out there, and it's $1,000 per window to rebuild windows. There's 22 years experience as a contractor. One of my specializations was historic home restoration, and I can tell you it does not take $1,000 to restore a window. So I think this price is very excessive. I know other companies that can do this work for a much lesser price. You can even replace with brand new reproduction windows at half the price, and we're getting getting quotes on. So I'm asking you tonight not to vote on this and to table it back, and let's get some more bids out there and try to bring the price down on this house. And we can save a little money and use that money in some other areas to restore that house and kind of keep the cost. Thank you.
Thank you. Gail Dunham.
Gail Dunham, 5805 Summerfield Drive, and I am so proud to be mayor-elect of Summerfield, and I can't wait to take office on December 12th. There's so many good things, there's just so many good things to do. I want to thank everyone who voted, and of course, people who voted or didn't vote will have a voice in Summerfield. We had a terrific turnout, much higher than other towns and municipalities, and in spite of the weather that might have kept some people home. When I met so many people during the campaign, they were wonderful. I did not find a divided town. I found people that definitely supported Keep Summerfield Rural. I found people that were friendly, very diverse, hardworking people that just love this town and want to keep the same rural charm. The idea of the No PD group, actually, the other candidates did very well when they assumed our campaign endorsement from Keep Summerfield Rural, and they were saying, oh no, the PD's off the table. So that wasn't effective, and that was part of No PD or Keep the PD off the table. Obviously, that was the message that people responded to. I look forward to sharing your vision for the town of Summerfield, the mayor, the council members that we'll be working with. I look forward to sharing your vision for the future of Summerfield, but I want the people to share their vision with you too. They really haven't been included in this master plan that is so expensive. I support Todd's recommendation to step back, take a look at what you're doing about the windows. We need to look at the comprehensive plan and the stability of the building. There's tremendous talent in this town that I think probably has a lot to offer as far as those structures, because I've heard some very good comments. I've heard very positive comments from some people in the town. They'd like to lend their expertise on a volunteer basis. They're not looking for a particular contract, but I think we should definitely take another look and look at the whole project. I really would like to have a workshop where we tell the people what you're going to do with that intersection and the buildings. The other concern I have is that you spent $600,000 in the past 4 months, so you could be well on the way to spending the $2.4 million budget. But with large deficit spending, the public must know more, and they should have a stronger buy-in or reject some of these expenses. As mayor, we're going to do more to answer questions about where the taxpayer money is going and who will benefit. But you're spending an awful lot of money. We just want to know where it's going and who it's going to benefit and how. And we need to look at how much these projects cost, not just look at one bid under $30,000, another bid under $30,000, and another bid under $30,000. I look forward to taking the oath of office on December 12th, and I know that there's much work to do. I look forward to working with you to serve the greater good for the people of Summerfield. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is committee board report, finance committee.
The finance committee did not meet this month, so we do plan to meet next Monday night.
Okay, historical.
The historical committee this month honored our veterans, for Veterans Day. And we were here in this building on Sunday afternoon. We had about 60 people here, which amazed me. We've never had that many. And we were just so proud of them. We had one veteran here, 97 years old. And we had refreshments and everything. The AR came and helped with refreshments. And it was just really great. And I hope we can do that every year. And our next meeting will be the 30th of November.
It's a very nice event, Linda. Thanks
Thank you.
for the veterans for showing up.
Trails and open space.
Trails and Open Space did not meet in October either. We are going to meet on the 29th of November, and we are just continuing to explore trail possibilities in Summerfield.
Thank you. UDO Review Committee.
So most important message is that our meeting is tomorrow night rather than Thursday night. At the last meeting, committee voted to change that meeting date so that the committee chair could be available. That meeting change was properly posted, but I just wanted to give everybody a reminder. That'll be our 6th meeting, and we'll be discussing transportation improvements along with wrapping up our discussion of sidewalk, bikeway and trails, and community character preservation.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, I have, just wanted to mention the Founders Day Committee. We have had our first meeting. It's not on the list. We didn't have a quorum that first meeting, but we do have another one scheduled that's coming up November the 20th at 1 o'clock at Town Hall.
Okay. Next, we'll go to our public hearings. The first one is the public hearing regarding the road name changes. As part of the I-73 construction project, Brookbank Road was significantly realigned, and earlier portions of the roadway remained. Affected residents requested a name change for one segment, and it was determined that 3 segments need new names. The public hearing is set for the staff has recommended that the names of Kirby's Farm Way, Brookbank Way, and Remnant Road are shown on the public notice. The segment labeled Remnant Road accesses town-owned property. So we will go ahead and open the public hearing. I have a list of people that have signed up to speak. The speakers, when I call the name, come to the podium, state your name, your address, and you'll have 3 minutes. Edna McHouston.
We can bring you a mic.
We can bring the mic to her.
Let's make that easy out there.
Thank you.
Seems silly. All this is about is a little lane from a new road to an old road. And the woman that used to own the land